my name is Carrie Filippa. I'm going to be going over disasters, how they affect older adults differently, especially those with chronic diseases, disabilities, or conditions that require extra assistance, to leave any unsafe area and recover from an event. For this reason, emergency personnel really need to recognize that the frail elderly are a special needs population and develop strategies to meet their needs. Most of the time, after any major disaster, a public health is focused on safe water, sewage disposal, and food and safety, but rarely do people seriously think about the impact of chronic condition and the medication and devices that people need on a daily basis. Following a disaster, chronic illness can easily worsen due to lack of food, extreme heat or cold, stress, and exposure to infection. Some objectives in this teaching are maintaining self-care, what to do in case of a disaster, and how to deal with the aftermath of a disaster. One of the primary objectives is keeping an older adult independent, healthy, and able to manage any chronic condition in their home environment with a relatively few resources. Once self-care becomes difficult, additional challenges may arise, such as recognizing the need for help, finding resources, dependence on a caregiver, and loss of independence. Preventing complications of aging or of existing chronic conditions. The goal for managing chronic condition is to regularly assess the patient's current status for any change or complication that might require new interventions or changes in treatment. To address this goal, communication with the healthcare team is important. As nurses, we can address a person's ability to manage in the home or living environment in the highest possible level of independence and can also identify any environmental safety risks such as a loose rug, uneven steps, clutter, appropriate adaptive equipment, or assistive devices that might be needed. Planning in advance for shelters or shelter alternatives that will work for you is something very important. You want to consider possibly loved ones or friends outside of your immediate area who will be willing to host you for possibly a couple of days or weeks. You want to create a support network. If you anticipate needing assistance during a disaster, talk to family, friends, and others who will be part of your personal support network. Write down and share each aspect of your emergency plan with everyone in your support network. Make sure everyone knows how you plan to evacuate your home, workplace, or where you will go in case of a disaster. Make sure that someone in your local network has an extra key in your home and knows where you keep your emergency supplies. Teach those who will help you how to use any life-saving equipment, administer medication in case of an emergency as well. Practice your plan with those who have agreed to be part of your network. If you take medication or use a medical treatment on a daily basis, be sure you have what you need to make it on your own for at least a week or maybe longer. Make a list of over-the-counter and prescription medications, including dosage, treatment, and allergy information. Talk to your pharmacist or doctor about what else you need to be prepared. If you undergo routine treatments administered by a clinic or hospital, or if you receive regular services such as home health care, treatment, or transportation, talk to your service provider about their emergency plans. Work with them to identify backup service providers and incorporate them into your personal support network as well. Consider other personnel needs such as glasses, hearing aids, hearing aid batteries, wheelchair batteries, and oxygen. Include copies of important documents in your emergency supply kit such as family records, medical records, wills, deeds, social security numbers, charge and bank accounts information, as well as tax records. Have copies of your medical insurance and Medicare cards readily available. Keep a list of the style and serial numbers of medical devices or other life-sustaining devices. Include operating information and instructions as well, just in case you need help. Make sure that a friend or family member has copies of these documents. Include the name, contact information of your support network, as well as your medical providers. If you have communication disabilities, make sure your emergency information notes the best way to communicate with you. Keep those documents in a waterproof container for quick and easy access. An evacuation device that can be used, several companies do make, are wheelchairs and several mobilities. The best known are a lightweight chair used to carry a person down a flight of stairs. There are special needs and medical shelters as well. Persons with mobility and disability have a right under the American with Disability Act to use a general public shelter, but however, in reality, you have to think many shelters are still inaccessible to people with mobility issues. So try to determine the status of the facility before you arrive. Wheelchair and scooters users may need assistance in transferring to and from a sleeping cot. People who use walkers or crutches might require aid navigating through a tightly packed shelter. Staff in a general public shelter can assist you with these tasks, but cannot perform more complex medically related procedures or activities of daily living. Some persons with mobility disabilities use a service animal, usually a dog, to help them with everyday activities. Federal regulations allow you to take your service animal into any shelter. Be prepared to explain this, though, to the staff because the pets are not always permitted. You have the responsibility to take care of your companion animal while the two of you are in the shelter. Disasters can happen at any moment. By planning ahead, you can avoid waiting in long lines for critical supplies, such as food, water, and medicine. You will also have essential items if you need to evacuate. For your safety and comfort, have a disaster supply kit packed and ready in one place before disaster hits, so it's easily accessible. Assemble enough supplies to last for at least 3 days. Store your supplies in an easy-to-carry container like a backpack, a duffel bag, or possibly a container that has wheels. Be sure your bag has an ID band. Label any equipment such as a wheelchair, cane, or walker that you would need with your name, address, and phone numbers. Keeping your kit up to date is also important. Review the content at least every 6 months or as your needs change. Check expiration dates and shift your store supplies into everyday use before they expire. Replace food, water, and batteries, and refresh medications and other perishable items. Items in your kit should include water 1 gallon per person per day for drinking and sanitation, food and a can opener, at least 3-day supply of non-perishable foods that are canned or dried, items you don't have to cook, a radio, battery powered with additional batteries, a flashlight with additional batteries, or you can use this flashlight that my mom got me like 12 years ago. All you do is shake it like this, turn it on, and it's an LCD, and this has lasted so long for me. I found it that you can get it online for like $20, and it's called the Shake Rechargeable Flashlight. First aid kit, medications, a whistle to signal for help just in case, filtered mask, clothes, wrenches or pliers if you need to turn off utilities, duct tape, garbage bags, prescription medication, important family documents, and if you have kids, infants, formula and diapers, of course. The Go Pack kit should also include, like I said before, the waterproof container, all the important documents, a spare house key, car keys. You want to try to make sure that your car has a full tank of gas. And if able to bring extra gas in a gas can, try to do that. Try to bring cash and credit cards. Also, accepting help from the community programs and resources is very healthy. During this hectic period of recovery, older family members can be unintentionally overlooked. Be mindful of their special needs and make time to offer emotional support and practical help. Visit and phone your elderly loved ones regularly and try to listen to their concerns. I also have a pre and post test that I would be giving out, and it's just 5 questions. I also have for handouts emergency readiness checklists for older adults and caregivers. It's just certain different little checklists that you can go through and see while you're packing what you could do. I also found online, this is by State Farm, and it's to be prepared for the next disaster. And it's just little things like this. And it also has a checklist and how to build a basic supply kit, build a Go Pack, and also research routines for evacuation. That's actually in my area in Nassau and Suffolk County on Long Island. So it has this. I also made an emergency contact list that you would put your primary emergency contact, healthcare provider, pharmacy, homeowners, and auto insurance. And it looks like this. I also made a current medications list. So you could put your name, your emergency contact, the last update. You would put your medications, strength and frequency, how long you've been taking them, or how many times a day you take them, who they were prescribed by, your allergies, and your pharmacy and prescription drug plan. There you go. So I hope this helps and that you've learned something, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you.